Welcome back. This is the third part of the interview with Lauren and Lori. Today we're talking about how they're keeping the logo the same, but they're going to be making changes to their business. Welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business coach, author of 5 food truck vending books, including Food Truck 101 and Food Truck 201. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business.
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
It's all about just setting up that next shift to be successful. Because if they come in behind the 8 ball, then they will remain behind the 8 ball all day long.
Yes.
And then that affects their attitude too.
It does.
That also gets you into, I'm sure at some point you guys will be able to not only stay open the full day and not be on the truck that frequently, but you may end up having shifts where somebody comes in and does lunch and then transitioned into different people doing dinner. If you don't have each shift taking care of the next shift, they start that bickering. Well, night shift did this, and day shift did do this, and you guys see that in the nursing world all the time.
Yes, all the time. Absolutely.
Nurses can do some gossip. I can tell you that.
Oh my God, horrible! It can be horrible.
Yes, it can. It can. Yeah. Absolutely.
You just don't want to set that up as an owner of a business where the shifts are bickering back and forth, because you ain't got time for that.
Right. And so, yes. And so, Bill, that's one of the things that we'll be working on too. And Lauren and I did that. We tried that with a dry one line, and it worked pretty well, I would think. We had where Lauren, I think it was at the time, like Lauren and Shelly and Mark would come in, and then if me and Keith did the night, I think we would overlap an hour. So while they get their orders, don't have to stop. So that we can make sure everything is being stocked. So by the time they left, we were still set up. So we did a little hour overlap, and I think that worked so well.
It did.
Somebody always called at least one
Mark
of us.
Was 11 to 5. Shelly would come in at 4.
With me and Keith.
You and Keith will come in later.
Yes. And I think that's going to be a great thing, because we'll have Ann, we'll have Drew, and we can still do that shift. And that way somebody will catch you after your knee, you get better. Somebody will catch you in the morning, me at night. And that way you still got one of us. And then we just work on filling those, Wednesday. I don't know if we're going to, try to do the 4 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And but anyway, I think that works really well, Bill, is that split shift. Because then me and Lauren have fresh legs. Granted, we're not 20 and 23 years old anymore. Being on our feet and then on all day and on a hot truck. So being able to split the shift actually gives us, you get the fresh legs, fresh attitudes and everything. I think that rotating is definitely a good thing for business.
It is.
Absolutely. You talk about, the youth and being able to work those 10 and 12 hour days. There's just really not a reason to. Yeah. There's just not. I mean, there's so many other things in your life that you can do that you're going to have better memories of. Certainly you got to work to make money and, to pay your bills, but you don't have to spend, 10, 12 hours a day. Melissa will tell you, I was kind of person, I'm 9, 10 hours and that's it. And it's not because I'm up and, I'm tired and going to go home. It's just, there's more things to life than working 12, 14 hours a day.
Absolutely.
You always got to have that staff that can come in, give you that relief like you talked about. And I would do the same thing. I'd usually have mine overlap an hour so that the person that's going to be in charge for the evening would come in and, check out the trailer, make sure everything's where it needs to be and, do their temperatures and do all the kind of checks that you want them to do to make sure that they're set up for success. And the last thing I would say before I would leave, is there anything else you need me to do to help you out for the night? And if they ask on the list, I would help. And most of the time they say, no, we got it. And, off I would go. It's tough. It certainly is tough. But if you get in the habit of doing that and you train your people, hey, no problem. You can actually go out and enjoy life and not worry about the phone ringing and, oh my goodness, there's a problem. So you mentioned briefly about a surgery coming up here in 2 weeks. Less than 2
Yeah.
So what are you going to be leading up to as far as the surgery? How are you going to prepare the business to handle your absence?
So Lori's already been working on that. We already have staff lined up for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Lori's already set our holiday schedule in motion. So all that is done. And then we just want people to know, on the backlash of that, we want people to know that as the new year progresses, because we only have 2 months left. Tomorrow's the 1st of November. So we're in holiday season. The world kind of changes for these next 2 months. But come January, when we open back up, we really would like to open up with a full plan and we want to have a different posture in January. We want our logo to be the same, but we don't want our business to operate the same by no means. And I told Lori, while I'm down, there'll be a lot of that computer stuff, a lot of that behind the scenes stuff. So that when January happens, me and Lori know, look, this is the schedule. This is how we move in. We might even be able to spend some of that time getting more help, getting people prepared for the new year, Yeah. And it's so crazy because right there in Cypress, those kids in high school, I think junior high school, they go through food management and culinary. They come out with their certificate. And so even for that interim help of getting some things, I really just want to be able to work on bringing other students in, being able to train, I just kind of just move forward. I just don't want to look the same. And that's going to take that commitment, that time and energy that we talk about in the book, our time, how we spend our time, how we spend our money. All those are really going to come into play. So we're doing a lot of soul searching, just trying to get ready for January. And so my surgery, in a way, kind of prepares me for that. I get some downtime.
So how long will you actually be completely off work and not being able to do anything?
Okay, so for what the doctor says and for what I say, it's going to sound a little bit different.
What's the recommended time you should be off?
I'll be off the truck for the whole 8 weeks, okay? I won't be on the truck for 8 weeks. My nursing job, because it's a sit-down job and because they're willing to make accommodations, I'm going to be off for 7 days. I'll be in the cast for 3 weeks. I'll be doing physical therapy back and forth. But what Lori and I talked about, I won't show up at the truck at all. I won't be doing any shopping. I won't be on the truck. I won't be doing water ice. Everything I do will be on the computer from back home.
That's why your deadline of January that's when you'll actually be up and around?
Yes. And of course, I'll be going through therapy through then. But on this ankle, I'm totally non-weight bearing for 8 weeks. No weight at all. So there's no way I could be on a truck or outside the truck on a scooter applying no weight, jumping up and down. There's no way.
So what's your plan once you get to where you can jump up and down? Are you going back to the truck? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I'll do some appearances. Absolutely. I'm hoping to have people, but really just planning to just be training and overseeing, really. I mean, I like being on the truck. I like serving. I like chopping it up. So I don't want to be totally absent, but I'm most certainly, when I want to do life on the other side, I want to be able to do that without even thinking about it.
Right.
Hey, I won't be there Friday, and it's no big deal to anybody.
That's the way it should be. And it should run better when you're not there.
Absolutely.
Because you trained everybody how to do it the way you want.
Exactly.
So Lori was mentioning listening to people like Zig Ziglar and the sermons and good uplifting things. Talked about the podcast that we're on right now. I've got about 310 episodes, I think, is what we just crossed. Do you guys find any benefit in listening to anything I have to say?
Oh my God.
Everything.
Lord have mercy.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know if that's a fair question. That sounds kind of loaded.
I'll turn off the recording if you say no.
No, there is no way we could have had the structure and the thought processes without you. Me and Lori, even in our regular everyday conversation, your ear should just be on fire all the time. Because it's like, well, Bill said, or the book said. We're always referencing back because the information you have given us that has been applied has worked. It works. And it's only when we get off of that trail of doing what we're being told to do or trained to do that things kind of go backwards. It's like, we got to get back what Bill said. Bill said this, or going back to your why. Even the basic things that you say, Bill. So podcasts they say the first 20 minutes of your day should be filled with positivity. Whether it needs to be daily affirmations, whether it needs to be things to do about your business. That's why we love the podcast too so much, because it gives you little tidbits that is so real. You swear that Bill was a fly on the wall in your truck. Like, how does he know that? Because this is This is industry stuff.
Yeah.
This is not new stuff. You have not created the wheel. These are things that are happening in this industry daily. Things that you've been able to troubleshoot and get straight. Yeah, those motivational, the podcast, whoever motivates you to just get up and move and to do things different, you definitely got to make time for them, because it's easy to get turned around. It's easy to get discouraged. It's easy. And sometimes just staying above water is work. It's work. And if you don't stay motivated, if you don't stay with those people in your ear, the Bill Moores, the Zig Ziglars, the Jim Rohns, TD Jakes, Les Brown, any of those people that motivate you into doing life and understanding that life happens. But even in spite of, you got to get up and you got to get moving. The hardest part of any journey is starting. And so I don't care how backwards my business is going or where I think I'm going. If I just take one of the things that you've taught us and put into motion, it will start the momentum for the next thing. Now I'm doing 2 things that you taught, and that will get the momentum going. Now I'm doing 3 things, and it's a wheel, and it keeps going. But when you break the link in the chain, you find some patches. Mm-hmm. Some of those things will be broken unintentionally just because of life, and some you will break because you're out of your sequence of habit and routine. Whatever the reason is broken, you need to identify it quickly and get back on.
One thing about Bill Moore and his training and his conversation and his professionalism in the industry, his is more like when I listen to Bill, or when I go to look at something that Bill said or look at my notes or something, it takes me somewhere different. It's different from the motivation, because when motivation is supposed to motivate you to do something, but Bill kind of helps me to his teaching, his instruction to actually set it in motion. Like I have a clear understanding of what I'm supposed to do in the business, in this particular industry. Like I know my perspective, how I need to be looking at things, how I need to be calculating things. So Bill gives me that professional side of the food industry, because mind you, and I'll never let people forget this about me, when I came into double trouble, it was because I knew how to make a good cheesesteak. I had no knowledge of the food industry, how they calculate things, how they set their prices, how they come up with the food ratios. So all that is what Bill teaches you, because a lot of us open up a food truck or whatever because we know that we can make the item, we do a good item for whatever we're trying to sell. It's not necessarily that we have the knowledge of the industry or how to make it work. And then Bill give you sound instruction. And if I can present anything else to any of the listeners, that I'm not just talking up Bill because I like Bill or because Bill is a friend or any of those things. I talk him up because when you want to know how to do things right, this man is coming with years and years of experience. And so when he's telling us something, it's not partial information. So many people you talk to will give you bits and pieces because maybe they don't think you understand, so they don't want to go deeper. Maybe they just don't want to give you that much information. They want you to research. But if you ask Bill a question, you're going to have the answer. And then you're going to know what steps you should take. I mean, Bill will say, okay, well, the first thing you should do is this, this, and this. You actually have some steps that you can actually follow and implement. And that's why our relationship has been long-standing, because you understand and can and impart. It's not enough to just people throw information on you if you don't know what to do with it. I get information in my ear all day long. But if you don't know what to do with that information or how to apply it, it's just information. So that's one of the things that I really like about you, Bill. That's one of the things that make what you do such a step above the rest, because you're really giving real information and you don't hold back and you don't say, well, I'm going to just give them part of the information, let them figure out the rest, or they'll see what happens. He doesn't do that to you.
Or give them part of the information and then make them pay for the other part. I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
and
yeah.
People will say, hey, we got 5 things that you can do. And you could do this. And have you ever done this? And for $79.99, I can tell you how to put it all. Just give me the information. Why don't you? You know, but
it's not that Bill's information is free. And it's not that his information is free. But, and you know, if anything worth having, I mean, you may have to pay. And it's not that his information is free. but it's good information. This is some of the information that if you do pay for sessions and it's training, coaching, or whatever, you're actually going to get something. You're actually going to have steps to take and follow and do. It's not going to leave you guessing, or we'll give you the chart or the template and you still got for $79.50 and then you still got to go figure it out. No, that's not how that. So anyway, that's what makes your program a step above. And that's why ever since Lauren and I have been in touch with you 3 years ago, we are still in constant contact. And we are one of the ones that are still here. Yep. And when people go online to Google all of the food trucks that opened 2019, it's only a fraction that's still here for whatever reason. And so I'm just saying, who you surround yourself with and who you're listening to does make a difference in your.
It matters.
Oh, yeah, it does. You guys talk about, the motivational side of things. Zig Ziglar puts it together with, motivation gets you started, but habit, and that's what I teach. I teach habits. That's what Food Truck 101 is all about. It's the habits you need to have to get you to the finish line, to get you to be successful. And then, 201 is now teaching you how to teach other people so that they can continue what you've started, because you're not going to teach them everything that 101 because they don't need to know it.
Exactly.
Because that's to get the owner started, but you're going to teach them how to be great people, be great employees for your business, and also run the business for you so that you can grow even more.
Absolutely.
So I like to think of myself as, the habit person, rather than the motivational speaker, because I'm nowhere near excited.
Right, no, I get it. Right.
No, we love the way you talk. It was so funny. I told Lauren the other day, she was telling me something, and I said, I'm gonna say it like Bill. That's right. That's right. That's what Bill said. He said, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I love that. So we're taking things from you too, Bill.
All right, that'll work. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Tomorrow, for the conclusion of the interview with Lauren and Lori, we're going to be talking about how a food truck is not one of those businesses that you can just have on-the-job training and be successful. Thank you so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding all the information helpful to your food truck business, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We have a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from brand new beginners to decades-old veterans. They've all got your back when it comes to helping you with your food truck. And again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow, because I got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business grow.